All right, so welcome everybody. I have pushed the go live button. We're recording this straight to YouTube. Welcome to 5020 Leadership in Educational Technology and whatever it's called.
Instructional design.
Instructional design, thank you.
Yep.
So I'm Clint Stevens, kind of the, I won't say leader, I'm the head organizer. And YouTube recorder. I know where the buttons are. So happy to have all you here today. And if you're joining us later on, good to see you. Glad you're joining us. And I'd like to introduce Carol Neff, our counterpart from Davis School District, who will be leading our discussion today. Thanks, Carol.
Thanks, Clint. All right, I will share my screen. Hopefully you're seeing my screen right now. Yes, almost. There we go.
Yep.
Okay. If I hit slideshow, did it stay working?
Yep,
everything right? Okay, good.
Yep.
Sometimes when we hit present, I don't know, sometimes goes weird. So I'm glad it's working. Okay, so welcome. I'm Carol Neff, Davis School District, as Clint said, and we have a few others with us that will do introductions in just a minute. But welcome. We are so glad to have you with us. And it's really, really nice to have some live people because sometimes when you're just talking to the computer, it's like, oh, that's not as fun, right? So I'm just super happy to see your faces, those of you that have joined us live. And for those of you that will be watching later, welcome to class for these next 12 weeks. We're excited to be with you. So I just wanted to start off with a quote from Sir Ken Robinson. He's one of my favorite people to listen to talk. He always has really great inspirational talks when he talks. And anyway, in thinking about leadership, the real role of leadership in education is not to be in command and in control, but to create those climates where possibility of things can happen and to just bring out the potential in people, right? And you can only do that if you're allowing that to happen, that climate of risk and innovation and creativity and those types of things. So hopefully, as you learn about all the different things about leadership in this particular class, that's something you can also keep in mind as how can you, as a leader yourself, create that climate of possibility. Okay, so here we are to the introduction part, and we may come back to this again at the end because one of our instructors is going to jump on a little bit late, but let's go ahead and start with who's here right now. And if Brandon, if you don't mind starting off, we'll just go in order of the pictures on the screen.
That works. Welcome, I'm Brandon Harrison. I work in the KU Service Center, working with the 7 local or central school districts in Utah, North St. Pete, South St. Pete, Sevier, Paiute, Tintic, Wayne, Paiute, did I say Paiute? Sevier, got Sevier. So those 7 school districts, and work a lot with UEN doing different things for them. And I love this crew of instructors that I get to work with for the last couple of years. They're great, and you guys are in for a treat with them. So thanks for being here and looking forward to hearing from you all.
And I'm Carol Neff. Davis School District is my area. So if you're in Davis, you're probably in my section of the class, and super excited to be here. Just like Brandon said, all of these instructors are amazing to work with, great people. And we very much enjoy all of our students as they've come through these different classes. So thanks for being here.
And Tony Pellegrini at Southern Utah University, happy to be here with you and learn alongside you. I'm excited about the next 12 weeks.
Clint Stevens, I said who I was. I didn't say where I was. I'm the Regional Educational Technology Specialist for Southwest Utah, Southwest Educational Development Center. Apologies to some of you who are in my section that I kind of moved over to Brandon's section. We were just trying to balance numbers. So most of the people that are in my section are from Millard County. Millard is coming into this ed tech endorsement strong, and they're doing a great job. And I'm happy to have you all. We just thought we'd keep you guys being able to collaborate and work together in my section. But again, we're all in the seminars each week. So the only real difference is just who's giving you scores on your projects. So I'm glad to be here and good to see everybody. And Matthew is not here yet.
Not here yet. So we'll hear from him hopefully at the end if he's able to jump on. If not, we'll talk about him in the next time we see this slide. Okay, so just some online etiquette. We love to see your videos, so thank you for having video on. If you can't have your video on, it's not, the end of the world or anything, because there are some circumstances where it's, you need to turn it off, but we love to have it on. So thank you to those who have your video on. You are welcome to jump in at any time. If you have a question, just unmute your mic and interrupt if you need to, or you may also type into the chat. We do pay attention to what's happening in the chat for the Zoom room. And so we'll make sure we get questions and comments that you put in the chat. We'll make sure that we answer those as well. So just a little bit about our online etiquette as we go through this class. In this course, we are going to dive into the 7 gears of the Future Ready framework. And there's kind of an 8th one that's part of it as well, that you'll see. And so you see them here on the screen, but you're going to get to know each one of these as we go through each week of this course. And the reason why we wanted to show you these and bring it up now is some of the assignments that we have you do, you will need to talk to people such as your administrator. Maybe you have an ed tech coach or a school technology specialist or someone along those lines that works at your school building, or if not at your school building, within your district somewhere, and various other people. And so we want to let you know now before school gets out, so that you can kind of arrange with those people to be able to talk to them about some of these things so that you can complete these assignments by talking to them, getting information where you need to get that information. So you can see at the bottom of the slides, it says, reach out to your administrators now, because our class goes until the end of July, right? 12 weeks out. So yeah, so June and July, a lot of times people are taking vacations and that kind of stuff. School itself is not in session, but typically there are people who do work during the summer, and we want you to be able to get in touch with them when you need to. So I just wanted to go through really quickly what those assignments sort of are, so that you have an idea of when you might need to talk to different people. So yes.
What if I'm not currently teaching and not in a school? What can I do?
That is a great question. And I think in that case, you will want to maybe get in touch with, if you have kids that are going to school, get in touch with that particular administrator who could maybe point you in the right direction, or if you know an educator that could help point you in the direction. There's lots of things you can find on your school district website at the district level as well as the school level. So that's another place that you can look. There's a couple of spots, like on the Utah State Board of Education website, there's a couple of things there where you can find some information. But I would try to get in contact with somebody in education that you can talk to that can point you in the right direction to people that might be good resources for you.
And before you dig too deeply into these next gears, Matt is with us. So if you want to back up a slide or two and let him introduce himself.
Let's do it.
I apologize. I was overdoing a live stream. My name is Matt Winters. I'm so excited to be here with all the sections, but most excited about my section. Hi, everyone. If you need me, my email's there, mwinters@uen.org. That's my office phone. It goes to my email as well. Or if you're on Twitter, you can always tweet at me and I will get back to you that way as well, at Teacher Winters. Thanks, Carol.
Thanks, Matt, and welcome.
Carol, can I just interrupt for just a second and just kind of follow up with Matt's question, or not Matt's question, I apologize, Brandon's question.
Brandon's question, yes,
Work
absolutely.
too with your instructor. Reach out to your instructor. Have that contact and communication with he or she and say, this is my setting and situation. Can we talk really specifically about maybe some specifics? And your instructor will be very, very helpful, I promise.
That's a great suggestion, because you may not know who that person is in your district, but we might. Or we know the person who knows the person who would be that. So let us know.
Yes, for sure. All right. So week 2, I'm going to skip over week 1 because we're going to come back to that in a little bit. But week 2, the gear that we're going to be looking at is curriculum instruction and assessment. And so during that week, you'll have an option of how you want to share the information that you're learning about. Either through a paper, a video, or a podcast. And you can see the elements there listed on the screen. What I tried to do is kind of think through what are the resources you might need in order to do this. So hopefully I captured enough. But in my thinking, with curriculum instruction and assessment, the types of questions that are asked within this assignment and the things that you're thinking about would have to do with the professional learning that's happening in your district. So that might be a department that's professional learning, or it might be like a staff development or in-service. It may not be its own department. It might be a collection of a department with curriculum assessment and professional learning all together. So it just kind of depends on your school district and where you're at, who you might want to talk to within that department. Or if they have information on their website that could be useful as well. And then if you have an ed tech coach or a technology trainer or school technology specialist, those are the people that you're going to want to be able to have some contact with so that you can ask them questions and maybe glean some information from those people on week 2. That assignment will be due May 18th. So you want to talk to them before then. The gear is the use of space and time. And again, you'll have a few options of how you want to demonstrate that learning. And on this one, a lot of times your policy manual will have some information, the policy for your district or your school. The stakeholder report, I know each district is required to do a stakeholder report as part of something they do for the state and for the school board. So that might be a great place to find information. Your teaching and learning or curriculum department, ed tech coaches, your principal might know some of this information that will help you in understanding the use of space and time and how that works within your school or school district. June 1st.
And looking at all this, please
Yes.
don't be intimidated.
Yeah.
This seems like huge monumental stuff, but at the top of each one of these weeks, there's a self-assessment that helps you with guided, direct questions. You can say, and this framework is like looking at the ideal school, which does not exist. So if your district or school isn't doing some of the stuff, it's okay. Where are you along the path to get to some of these things? So anyway.
Yeah. And just know I'm laying out the entire 12 weeks, right? Like, so that in the hopes that it just gives you a little heads up on what's coming up, not to overwhelm you, because yes, just take it a chunk at a time, but just kind of be thinking about where and who and how. So then due June 1st. So before June 1st, you'll want to look again at that stakeholder report, your ed tech department, your ed tech coaches, your principal. This is where you can find out information about the infrastructure that you might have in place for your district. And like Clint was saying, this is the ideal. You may not have some of this stuff. If there's something that you just can't find any information on at all, or it's not existent for your school district, then it's okay to say that, to indicate that in your learning. So for example, if element 3, there just wasn't something that I had for element 3, then I would just say I didn't have anything for element 3 and just move on to element 4.
Right. But it's not okay to say, I don't know. We need to have you to try to do some research,
to
reach
find
out
out.
to people. You just can't say, oh, I don't know.
Okay, then due June 8th for week 5, this is data and privacy. Again, your policy manual website should probably have some information about student data privacy. I know for our school district, our assessment department knows a lot about the data privacy. They're kind of in my school district, that's who's in charge of all the data privacy information, and knowing that kind of thing. Your stakeholder report should have some of that information about how they use that data to inform some of the decision making, the policies and procedures that are created. Your ed tech department, your STS or your ed tech coach, your principals should know a little bit about this as well. And so those will be good places where you can find your information there. Week 6 is community partnerships. And again, policy manual will have some of this, a little bit about how community partnerships work. Your stakeholder report may include some of that. Your ed tech department might know about their community partnerships that they have for ed tech. Your foundation, it might be called something different in your school district, but in my school district, it's called the foundation. It's the charitable contributions that happen for our school district. And there's a lot of community partnership that happens through our foundation. So that's another great place to find out that information. And your principal may also know of some good community partnerships that happen either with your school or with your district. They should know about that kind of thing. And notice we're in June, right? So think about that. So that in case your principal went on vacation, or some of these people are on vacation for that time, just make sure you can kind of reach out a little bit ahead of time so that you have a chance to be able to talk to them. And then due June 22nd is the personalized professional learning. So again, we're back to the professional learning department. If you have that department, or if it's in conjunction with your curriculum, your technology, your assessment, any of those different places, your ed tech coaches, your principal, of course, will know about professional learning that happens at the school level. So you should be able to find out some resources there. And then the last one is the budget and resources. And this one, your accounting department might come in handy here with this one. But again, the stakeholder report, your strategic plan, your ed tech department will know about some accounting, budget and resources things here. Your ed tech coaches might know about this as well, because they might also be in charge of the refresh program and, different things like that as they move in and out of the technology resources that you have. Your principal will know about that for sure, because your principal is in charge of that budget for the school building. So they will know about that information. So hopefully that will be helpful to you when you get to that.
Digital teaching and learning grant on this one would probably be a good source.
Yes.
As well.
I am going to add that. I'm writing it down, so I remember to add that.
I'll add it. I'll put it in there.
Perfect. Thanks, Clint. Okay, so that was just an overview of all the different weeks of what you're going to be doing. And the whole purpose was not to overwhelm, but just to give you a heads up, so that you kind of have an idea, okay, there's going to be some different resources I'm going to have to look for and kind of pay attention to. And just to realize it's summertime and we don't want you to be caught off guard, or trying to find somebody who's not available. So hopefully you can kind of get with somebody and say, hey, I might be talking to you a few times over the next 12 weeks, will you be available? When's a good time to talk with you or call you or whatever? Okay, so again, big picture course overview for the 12 weeks. We have weekly discussions that we will have every single week. We have weekly readings that we will have every single week. And the textbook for this particular class is called The Connected Educator. So you see a lovely picture of Brandon showing our book there on our slide. Thanks, Brandon. The first chapter is included in our course as a PDF. But beyond that, you will need to have a copy of this book. So just find the cheapest one you can find. It's okay if it's a used copy, it's not going to matter. Or if you want to get an ebook or something like that, that's totally fine. Just find the cheapest.
This is
copy
the only
that
one
you
we're
can.
making you buy.
Yeah, this is the only one. And there are, in some cases, if you have a professional library that you use, sometimes your professional library might have a copy of it that you could check out. So check there first, maybe, if that's an option you would like to do. I know for my school district, there's 1 or 2 copies. So whoever gets there first.
And check your SORA, either regional or school district library as well.
Absolutely. And just one more idea for your principals. This is the end of the year. There may be $50 left in the budget with your principals for the library. Just ask him or her, hey, could you get this book, put it in our library? It'd be very helpful. And there may be money for that way.
Great idea, Tony. Thank you. Okay, then we will have the weekly assignments, which I just went over, those weekly assignments for weeks 2 through 9. And then starting week 10, 11, and 12, we have they're more project-oriented assignments. Week 10 will be a memo to the superintendent, and you will need to gather some information from at least 4 peers. So again, if you happen to be in a situation where you're not currently in a classroom, that's okay. Work with your instructor to kind of figure out who might be a good peer group to interview so that you get that information before you create that memo to the superintendent. I will say here, we do not require you to actually send this memo to your superintendent unless you feel strongly about it. And then in that case, go for it. But it's not a requirement to send it to the superintendent, but it is a requirement to do it as the assignment and turn it into us. So there's that. And then week 11, you will be doing a lesson plan modification. And we would love for it to be a new lesson plan, not one that you've already done and you're just recycling. If it was something you already did, if you're at least changing it enough that it's newer and the integration is a lot more, that would probably be okay. But really, it would be nice if you could do a new lesson plan and kind of some new thinking there for that lesson plan modification. And then week 12 is a tech training planning. And so we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. And then every week we get together for this particular seminar that we have at 4 o'clock on Thursdays. It's usually about 30 minutes. We try not to go longer than that. Every once in a while we might, but usually we try to keep it less than 30 minutes. You're not required to attend. We love it when you can. Like I said, we love to be able to see faces, but if you can't, you can watch the recording later in our Canvas course. You are responsible for the content and the instructions that we give during this time. So if you can attend live, that's great. And if not, watch the recording. Okay, so let's talk about these weekly discussions. Are there any questions up to this point? Maybe I should pause for a minute.
It's looking pretty calm in the chat, Carol.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so the weekly discussions are based on the readings out of the book, The Connected Educator, and the supplemental readings. And your first post, we would like you to post by Sunday night. And the reason for that is we want to give people a chance to then, after you do your original post, to be able to respond to each other before Wednesday when it's due. So everything is always due Wednesday night, and then we start the next week every Thursday. And so if you can please do your original post by Sunday night, then you'll have that time from Sunday till Wednesday night to respond to each other. This is an enhanced post. So an enhanced post means try a different way of posting that's not just typing in an answer. So we have some ideas here: a digital poster, a podcast, an interactive image, a screencast, a presentation, a video. There's lots and lots of options, as you can see listed with the different tools, of ways that you can have your original post. And part of this is to help build your own toolbox and your own ways of integrating technology into what you do as well. And then your 2 additional responses by Wednesday night. Questions on weekly discussions? All right, this is a good chance to try new things. This is where I learned a lot of my new tools, was during the weekly discussions and just trying things out for my original post. So, okay, the final project, that tech training workshop, what we want you to do, or the intent of this assignment, is to do something that will actually be useful, that you actually will use with your colleagues. The format is really up to you. You can choose however you want to do that. And in that actual assignment, you'll see there are some questions and elements that we want you to respond to that will help us to give the grade on that particular assignment. So this is just kind of a preview of what that is. This project is not due until week 12. This is the last one, right? Yeah. So week 12. Okay.
And can I say something before
Yes.
you move on? Those modules are going to be locked. We'll talk about how far out they're going to be locked. But is it week 1, Matt? Yeah, week 1, in the week 1 module, there's the course project previews for weeks 10, 11, and 12. And those are just pages that has all the requirements and instructions and everything. So you'll always be able to get to those and, plan for those, even though they're in locked modules. So.
Okay, thanks, Clint, for reminding us of that. Okay, this week, here's the important stuff for this week. For the discussion, you're going to introduce yourself to the class via video. So we'd like your post to be a video. And then make sure you go back and respond to at least 2 other people in the class. We aren't expecting you, especially if your section is a large section, a large amount of people within your section, to watch everybody's video, but at least go in and watch a few and then respond to 2. In that introduction. We do want to get to know each other, and in the discussions, it's helpful if you can kind of put a face to the name as you respond back and forth. The assignment, there is a link that you're going to review, and it will go through personalized learning, and it just kind of follows these elements that are listed here on the screen. And so you'll fill that information out and submit that as your assignment. Kind of a second part to your assignment is you're going to establish a portfolio or blog. If you've taken some of these foundation courses previously, in 5010, we had you establish a portfolio. You can still use that same portfolio for this particular, just add to it with these assignments that you're going to add. If this is the first class that you're joining in on, heads up, when you get to 5010, you'll have a portfolio and you can use the same one that you're going to establish here. And we give some information on how to do that in the actual assignment in Canvas. So if you have any questions, once you get to that point, please contact your instructor and they can help you with that. If anybody has questions right now, you are welcome to ask away on what you're going to do during week 1. Okay, Sounds quiet, so I think we're good. We'll just keep going then. Just things to keep in mind. Again, remember all the weekly assignments are due Wednesday by midnight. We do know that life happens, so just please let us know if something's going to happen where you're late or you've been sick or whatever it is. Let us know so that we have that heads up and then can watch for it once you get it in. Don't get too far behind. It's hard when you get behind to get caught up. So it's nice if you can just stay caught up all the time. Absolutely in the discussions. That's going to be really important because it's hard to have a discussion if people aren't posting. So make sure you can keep those up if nothing else. And then check any comments that you might see in the grade section as you go through. Those comments will kind of let you know if there was something missing or incorrect in the assignment. If you'll check there, then you'll know, oh, this is what I need to do, and you can resubmit. And then the modules, I've kind of highlighted the word 2. I think we're going to change that to maybe 3 weeks. I'm not sure. With the instructors, we'll talk about that. We'll let you know. But the modules are typically locked up until either 2 weeks or 3 weeks out. So you can work ahead 2 to 3 weeks, but typically not more than that. So just kind of plan ahead. If you have a vacation or something planned in there that's happening, just kind of allow for that and let your instructor know, and then take a look at those modules as you work ahead. This class ends, absolute end date to get everything turned in is July 27th. So just be mindful of that. July 27th is our very last day to accept and work. Okay, don't suffer in silence. This is something Tony says all the time and we love it. Flip your iceberg. Let us know if there's any troubles or issues or problems or questions or anything. Just let us know. We're pretty flexible. We're all very nice people, and we're happy to work with you. We don't want you to take advantage of things. Nobody wants to do that, but don't, if you have legitimate things, please let us know and we will work with you on those. Okay, so here's all of your instructors again. Here's how you can reach out to us. We try to include this every single session. So hopefully this is not going to be new information for you. This will be the information you will get every time.
Carol, how do I know who my instructor is?
That's a great question. So let me show you. When you go into your course, you will notice that over on this side.
We go into student view. Make sure it looks the same. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So over here on this side, you'll notice your navigation on the left-hand side. If you click on people, you will see you can change the role, but you will see who all is in your class with you. You can change the role to teacher, and that will show you who your instructor is.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Any questions? All right.
Oh,
I think
Tony gave us a flipping iceberg video I need to watch.
awesome. I think it might actually be linked into the presentation as well.
Oh, so it is. Very good. You did good, Carol. Wow.
All right.
I was expecting like an hour. I was back to lunch. Any questions out there? Please don't go and immediately want to drop the class. It's not as bad as it sounds.
Yeah, it's not. It really is not.
We're just making sure you're aware of what's coming up. And it's all extremely doable.
Yes.
I would just add, remember, it's a 12-week course. We're in week 1.
Yeah.
All that work Carol went over, it's spread
Day
over.
1, week 1.
Got plenty of time, folks. You're gonna be great.
Get a bite at a time.
I have a question really quick. I just got an email that says you have successfully completed leadership in educational technology and instructional design. So I
Wow.
don't know if that's going to mess anything up, but apparently they think I've already completed it because I filled out the course like credit thing. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if it matters, but
I would follow up with your instructor.
Okay.
I mean, it's possible that you did the course, like chose what type of credit you want, and maybe UEN got ahead of themselves or something. I don't know.
but if I'm done, I guess I'm done. But if not, then
Yeah.
you know.
Reach out to send me an email, Anita. I know you're in my group. Give me a call, okay? Don't be shy.
Okay, thank you.
I will just add really quickly, there has been some abnormalities today in credit. So it may just be something from that. I've gotten like at least 4 or 5 emails today from people about that. So
Yeah,
don't think you're done already, Anita. Maybe
I know.
maybe there's something just going on.
They're gonna send me an email and say it's time to pay for it or something, and so I better get
That's more likely. Yeah, make sure you get registered with SUU and pay for the course.
So can I do that now, or do I have to wait for it to end?
No, you should know. You should do it
Okay.
sooner the better.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Other questions? Sweet. I'll stop the